Hello and welcome to LedgerCast. I'm Brian here with Josh. Josh, how you doing?
You catch me mid-sip like every time. I wish this was a stiff drink, but it's actually just filtered water.
It sounds like a you problem to me. I don't know. Just saying. Listen, this episode is not sponsored by anybody. It is ours. So I'm going to talk about flip.art. If you are interested, you can go to flip.art and hit the Telegram link. And in the Telegram link, it'll give you the password to try it out. This is the app that I'm building, and with my business partners, Sam, Jennifer, and our team. And you can do a lot of cool stuff. We just introduced user accounts so that you can actually sign up and then start following collections that you're interested in. There'll be a lot more to do with collections that you're interested in pretty shortly, and but it's pretty fun. That's flip.art. All right.
Say hello to Lucy for me.
Yeah, hey Lucy. Josh, how you doing?
Good. It's cold here. I'm not going to start by talking about the weather on a podcast, but it's cold here.
Don't talk about the weather. Tell me how you're doing and tell me how the market's doing. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm doing good. It's post-Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a thrilling Thanksgiving meal with their friends or family. Haven't had a Friendsgiving yet. Don't know if you've had a Friendsgiving yet.
Not yet. I think we're going to try to do one next week. But we did have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I can't believe it's been so long since we talked.
I know. I had duck. I had turkey. Love it. Love it all. Yeah, VIX is up. Corona's back on the menu. Everybody's freaking the flip out over Corona stuff again that they knew was coming because it was post Thanksgiving. We're gonna see numbers like we've never seen. Okay, we're gonna see the biggest number.
There's nothing more obvious than oh yeah, we're definitely gonna get another Thanksgiving pump, and then turned into Thanksgiving dump instead.
I was referring to coronavirus numbers, but yes.
Yeah, okay. This is not a political podcast.
No.
However. Wasn't it pretty well known that this Omicron variant is not particularly strong of a strain? I'll cede this question to you because you're actually like a biologist or something.
Wow, that's insulting, but yes, I am. So as far as I can deduce, it may be more contagious, but it sounds like it is not as deadly, or the symptoms are milder than.
So couldn't that be a good thing if it crowds out the other variants?
Ideally, yes. But if people are panicking and we go back into lockdown mode, which I don't think is going to happen. But yeah, if we go back to that, then markets are obviously not going to like that. I think the legacy markets were both toppy and looking for a reason and found this scapegoat of a reason, while at the same time we're talking about reducing or tapering, however you want to take that into context, with the Fed. And it's kind of just like the perfect storm of stuff going on right now,
I drew this sometime recently. I don't know when, but I should have traded that. I could see us doing some kind of choppy crap in the S&P for a while. But yeah, I agree with you. The reason seems weak. The pullback was totally pedestrian, honestly. But every time this happens, it's markets in turmoil. It seems to me if the crypto markets overall seem healthy, they're not overly toppy or anything, they're on year-long consolidations just about on majors, Bitcoin and Ethereum. And Legacy's dumping, then when Legacy stops dumping and the correlations kind of chill out a bit, it's probably good for buying the dip in crypto overall, don't you think?
Well, the problem is we're teetering on trend metrics. That's what I'm having trouble with here. I want to be bullish until the end of the year. I want things to do well, not because it's hopium or copium, just that's seasonality. We're still up 30% or something from October, right? In BTC land, which is, if we closed here today, right now, we'd be fine. This is still, okay, it's 23% now, which is still a great quarter by any stretch of math, however you want to say that. But we typically have better quarters in Q2 and Q4, and I don't want to go into Q1 with this like teetering momentum where it's going to be easier to trade because it's going to be like straight down for 3 months. It's just going to knock the wind out of the sails momentum wise for a lot of people.
You know what my favorite long-term trend mechanism is that is upheld at these current levels for Bitcoin is the 20-week.
So far.
Yep. But historically, this was always a good buy. And when it was being used as support, and a good sell when it was being used as resistance. Like the 2019 market was the one time it kind of loved to go both sides of that. But if you go back to 2017, for example, it trended along that 20-week really strongly. And then the entire bear market, every rally would bounce underneath it. So, I mean, that's probably my signal alongside this 52K weekly level that if we lose 50K on a weekly close, then we're probably in for a lot longer pain. What do your trend systems tell you?
The biggest issue is the cloud on the daily here, because we are no longer above the cloud. We no longer have a bullish DK cross, and we are in straight hot neutral territory now. And that muddies the waters greatly. And I don't think we have enough time to right the ship to the end of the year at this point. I don't think we have enough time to...
Oh, yeah. From like a pure trend metrics on the daily, I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying the weekly says buy the dip right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. The 200 daily is right there too. Like
200 day, but it's like totally flat though. Like, I don't know. I feel like all the daily metrics we've consolidated for too long, because the last highs were like in May and I mean, with Bitcoin, you could almost argue that momentum kind of died in like February, right? So it's a long time to consolidate it. I feel like you need to go to the higher time frame stuff.
I mean, weekly cloud likes 40 right now.
Yeah, well, that's wrong. But the Tinkin's at 50, and that's in a bull market. Like in a bull market, is the Kijun on a doubled cloud really the target, or is it more like the Tinkin bounces? Like look at all those Tinkin bounces back in 2017.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't necessarily had this momentumless nothingness for quite some time. So to say where it should go, I don't know. Like I'd be satisfied with the Tenkin, but I'm still concerned that momentum is basically zero.
Yeah, I'm Bitcoin.
Certainly getting
momentum, that's for sure. Neither
being more and more nervouser, especially since ETH could not pull up anything else around it. Neither could Luna, neither could AVAX, neither could any of these other useless bridge layer 2 trash coins. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. So part of me is like fatalistic about it all. Just like let it blow up already, because I'm sick of hoping for something that isn't going to happen. But it's got to get moving. It's got to get moving, because nothing like, what do we have in the pipeline that's coming? Like regulations and horribleness globally from 2022. That's what I see in the crystal ball. Just nothing but bad things from Gary Gensler, from EU, from all over the world.
Don't forget the Mount Gox unlocks.
Yeah. That kind of is what it is at this point. I'll believe it when it happens, but yeah, that could happen in 2022. It was supposed to happen in 2020, I think, and it didn't.
Well, I heard a good podcast from Luke Martin on his We're All Gonna Make It, his Wag Me podcast. He interviewed somebody from the block that had analyzed it, and the block guy was talking about how there's these firms that went and bought as many claims as they could in order to kind of take their long position. So it's a lot of those retail claims have really gone into the hands of like institutional buyers. So it's people that wanted to sell their claim probably could if they really wanted to, at least at a discount. So I don't know that it's going to be as impactful as you might think at first glance, where, you got a bunch of people that were in crypto back then that now can finally take profit after forever. It doesn't seem that way to me.
Right. They could have done that at any point in time, really. But supply unlocks are never bullish. They just aren't.
Sure. But it could be a buy the news type of event, like you sell in advance. By the time the unlocks actually occur, it goes up.
I just don't think anybody wants to trade that.
Nobody wants to think on the long their side coins being sold. Yeah.
Nobody's excited about whatever percentage of coins coming out of circulation, right? Unhodling. That's never been bullish for anything. Just hasn't been. That's why Curve's been so bullish, because people are forced hodling Curve right now, right?
I love force hodling my Curve.
Versus any other governance token, Comp, Aave, SNX, Sushi, even Uni to some degree. All these tokens just look like hot junk right now.
Yeah.
DeFi Perp probably had a terrible day today. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, I mean, even this thing looked real hot into November, and then ever since December, trend metrics are just more and more bearish.
It still looks good though. ETH BTC. Still looks good. I
bodied you pre-stream. I don't want to do it on the stream.
Yeah, Josh pointed at a tweet of mine where I was talking bullishness from almost the top.
It doesn't look like it's over for ETH BTC. I'll say that's about as good as I can say it. Because it still holds the pattern. It's still, this looks like a throwback so far. It doesn't look like it's that big of a deal, in the grand scheme of things.
And what I like when you have a throwback is when the throwback doesn't destroy the weekly. And currently, at least, the weekly is also okay. It's not like plowing through the resistance, but it's green with a wick and through the important level at least. To make a new high on a weekly chart. So when the daily looks like a throwback and the weekly still looks like a breakout, then I like that combo. So I hold to my target of 0.14.
I think the bias is still there. I think the trade is still there. I'm positioned as such. I don't think that's like the wrong thing to be doing here. The bigger problem is it had the physical breakout on the chart, got denied, had no volume, and now it's just kind of in limbo for the weekend. And stocks don't bottom on Fridays. That just doesn't happen. So this probably won't get any rosier come Monday, So we have to kind of pump so hard on the weekend that we can negate whatever nonsense is going to happen on Monday. Because we aren't in a small pond anymore. Everybody wanted it, right? Everybody wanted institutional everything. And guess what? They're here. And guess what? We're being sloshed around by everybody and their mother when they decide to sneeze on S&P, when Musk decides to sell another billion of Tesla. And that's all part of this picture.
There's quite
when Jack Dorsey decides to step down from Twitter.
Quite a lot of volume on this S&P mini futures daily, weekly. Like last week was red, but not a lot of volume. This week is red with a lot of volume. It's interesting.
What I said earlier, Thursday, I guess, yesterday. I don't know what day is it, Friday. I said it looks ugly. On the weekly S&P and the weekly NDX, like all of this has really been a bear div, but you've also been made a fool if you're like, this is the top. I mean, this is the classic, the trend is your friend until the end, right? Everybody's an expert until they get run over and you're flipping burgers because you're shorting the top every $5.
Yeah.
So eventually these people are going to be correct, right? Eventually it's going to be a top. You're going to see a massive pullback and you can get more and more confident the more and more divergent price gets from momentum. And yeah, like a move to 4K on SPX wouldn't be crazy based on trend metrics on the weekly. But at the same time, it's bounced. it's kind of bounce or die into Monday, which is a terrible, terrible thing to be doing because Monday movement post Friday dumps just don't end well. So I don't know. I'm cautious into the next week for sure.
I feel rather complacent.
I don't think it'll make or break the quarter for crypto, but it'll definitely, for me, solidify Q1 being an absolute bloodbath across the board. And for a lot of people, they want to see that, right? SHIB is up.
They want to buy the dip.
SHIB is up 10,000 billion%. That's a terrible sign. Have you seen Hood? Have you seen Coinbase? Like these are getting absolutely schmammered. Hood, look at how much Hood is down even today.
Ooh, that looks like an altcoin chart.
I pulled this up yesterday and I was just shocked that this thing is down, the percentage that it's down.
That's a very ugly chart.
Hideous. And coin kind of looks no better. Absolutely just demolished. ARK demolished. You know, all these like mega funds that are trading this stuff demolished. I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad for crypto. I assume it's not great, right?
However, Josh, something we often talk about is when the VIX tops, it's probably good for crypto.
Is it topped?
It's not as high as it was.
Is that what we're gonna die?
I may have to mute myself. I think it's probably topped. I think the market could range down with the VIX calming down. I'm gonna mute myself and let you comment on that.
Not to bring up COVID stuff again, but to bring up COVID stuff again, Jim Bianco on Bianco Research on Twitter brought up this very likely again that we're going to spike in cases as we already did in Europe. So again, I don't foresee the headlines getting any better next week or the week after with like coronavirus and Omicron and
okay, say it gets worse. Say it gets worse. We shut down or whatever. What are we going to do? What's our response going to be?
As a trader or as a country?
As a country.
The playbook is do the same thing we already did because some people seem to think that worked.
And the printer goes burr, right?
The printer will go burr if we dump, I guess. I don't know. They've already said that they want to taper.
Yeah, but taper.
There's too much uncertainty about all of this.
But you can't. If they shut people down, if they shut the economy down in any capacity again, they will be forced to burr. Is my thing. That's right. The worst stank ever. Whoever you are, the Fed will go burr and tapering will stop if there's actual lockdowns. There will be burr, taper will stop. If it's not, meaning things are better than anticipated, the taper can stay as is planned or whatever, and the expectations get better, and it's probably still okay. If we burr, the inflation expectations continue to increase, whereas right now there's a lot of question about maybe the degree of inflation expected is on everybody's lips, and therefore maybe it's already priced in, and now you have correction from that. So I just think it's all... it doesn't bother me that much. Like we could totally have another 10, 15% down. That's not what I mean by this. It's that I think legacy markets are looking for good reasons to get out of like growth stories that are not strong fundamentally and into things with more real profit potential. But that could just end up a big rotation rather than like the S&P going into a 5-year bear market. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I already said, the trend is your friend until the end. So
yeah, and your
until it's the end
is the end.
My question is, some people are like, maybe we get another March style dump.
That's not. I'll bet against that all day. Okay. It will not be. It will not be March-ish. It'll be not even half that. Probably not a third that, and but top to bottom, if we have a large correction, then it's possible to grind your way down on something like that. But I think there's too much liquidity in the market to shock its way down, basically.
I agree with you. I'm on your side. I don't think crypto can be bullish if there's this like air of, I don't know what's going on and what's going to happen in the market. Uncertainty is just not good. The VIX is up. Clearly, that's what it's showing. We were down today on Walt Bloomberg tweeting out that Biden had a cough or something. Like, it's just gotten to absurd levels of parity, of just insanity. Like,
yes.
I don't know.
I agree. I agree. It would be nice if something could happen in the world to like enable the capital rotation to go away from the crazy things and into the better things. And maybe that's what these corrections are all about. You like you said, you need the narrative to fit the need of the economy. So I like seeing things like Robinhood getting obliterated and Zoom getting obliterated and Tesla, Elon Musk selling tons and tons of stock at the very top when it's over $1,000. Like, that's good for the market in my mind, in terms of the way all the numbers line up with one another, because I don't think the like meme valuations make sense. Like, you need logic to re-enter markets. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a gigantic bear market in everything. What I do find interesting and strange is someone in the chat, sorry, started with an F, asked, how is gold not mooning? Fitris, how is gold not mooning?
Gold's doing horrible.
It's horrible.
Absolutely
horrible. It can't even, it's like 1800, 1750 to 1850 all the time. Completely failed the breakout that it attempted. And it's like, this should be gold's moment. But people in legacy markets are like, oh, because Bitcoin took it away. What? Bitcoin's been crap too. Like, people are going for risk, not risk. Like, and gold and Bitcoin both are like laggy relative to other opportunities out there. It's strange to me. Like, when I would like to see money go into these types of assets, but we're not seeing much evidence of it. It's like people either want the craziest risk curve stuff or cash. And where's the place for these assets? How is gold not $3,000 an ounce right now?
I don't know. Nobody wants it. Every time it's tried, it's just been smacked down over and over and over and over.
Same as BTC dominance within our ecosystem, like our version of that,
Yeah. And silver's done worse. I don't know. Nothing makes sense to me, Brian. Nothing makes sense to me anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we could go risk off, but I think it'd be a slower risk off than March 2020. Every time you have an event like that, the next time there's any hiccup, people are like, oh, it's going to be just like that. It's going to be 2011. It's going to be just 2008 all over again. It's like, no, we just had that like 2 years ago. And then 2015, oh, it's going to be 2008 all over again. We didn't fix it. And then, nope, that's not how it works. And I think it's going to be the same thing. Everybody thinks we need another March 2020. I don't think we need another March 2020. We just need normal market corrections. Those are fine. Normal market corrections, and then move on.
I will agree with that. So I think the bottom line for me, my positioning hasn't changed at all yet.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The key to all of this is yet.
That can be influenced. That isn't to say an early bear is wrong or a late bull is wrong. It's sliding in a way that is making it murkier to be sure that we're even going to have a bullish 25 days left in the tank. I saw Johnny post this falling wedge, which I don't hate. I also don't hate this like low time frame, gross looking inverted head and shoulders here. That's here now. I don't like going straight up, straight down like this. That's never a good sign. It just means nobody cares about anything, and whatever player wants to move this market quickly will do so at their whim. and there's nothing anybody can do about it because there aren't enough people trading this right now. Volume is still relatively low. I don't know. It's just it's a very uncomfortable feeling and situation.
What do you want to own right now, Josh? Do you have any desire to be in anything other than Bitcoin, ETH, or cash?
I'll tell you what I don't want to own is anything on Badger DAO.
Man, Badger, that was an interesting one. So it was a kind of an obvious type of hack, right? Hack the website where people copy the address from rather than hacking the contract itself. So people who used the Badger interface and then interacted with the address on the website, they were doing so in a way that they thought was one thing and the hacker had another thing in mind. So that's how they ended up approving something they didn't expect, and then somebody lost a lot of money. There's rumors that it was Celsius who lost the most, the one that had like $50 million worth of Bitcoin. But
I think it was confirmed today while you were out dumping on us.
Well, I was
buying,
diversifying, Josh, diversifying.
While you were spending money in the metaverse IRL, things were really escalating on that front.
Interesting. So Celsius lost a bunch of money. Are they out of business now, or are they going to make it? They're going to be all right.
I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. Somebody was asking about the 2-year MA multiplier. Here's another issue with a lot of these metrics right now. We are not in the bottom, not in the top. We are just in this land. In this very weird area.
A $100,000 range of no man's land.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. We're not in the midline. We're not at the top.
It's It's buildle season.
Yeah, sure. Okay, CZ.
I just like to say stuff sometimes. See what your response will be. How much do you hate me? How much do you hate me right now?
I wouldn't want to be 20x long. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, sure. I agree with that. And you'd also pay to be long. Like paying to be long in Chop is terrible, even if you don't lose money on the price action.
I don't hate buying the dip. I bought some ETH today.
Nice.
I was on sale. Let me pull up a chart. Is that data?
Yeah, I screwed up. I had more cash on the sidelines from 42 or 4,300, and then everything went down a little bit. I felt smart, and then it went back to 4,400. And then I had already deployed 4K and under 4K, actually. Yeah, that's right. So I was buying the dip, but I kind of left my last bit. I was like, I'm waiting for the breakout. And then when we get the breakout, I'll just put the last bit in that I had taken out. So the last part that I put in was at like 4,400. And now today I'm like, dadgummit. That's a lot of money. Another 5%, 7%. Could have gotten better pricing if I waited. Even though it did break out, it goes 4,400 to 4,600 to 4,100. It's a lot of chop. That's a lot of chop on old ETH.
A lot of chop. I mean, I bought my buys the other day. At this point, we're probably trash. I don't even know.
Yeah. But my last clip was supposed to be for like buy when it's obvious. And I bought when it was obviously a breakout with that last clip. But I should have refined my rule set so that it was buy when it's obvious because there's pain in the market. You know what I mean? And like be okay with missing out a bit. And I bought when it was obvious because it was a breakout. It was a breakout, but now I don't like it because I have a lot of money that I took out of the market altogether. But in terms of my investable cash, I didn't really have a lot of ways to buy the dip. So now the ways I'll have to buy the dip is to take majors and kind of roll them down the risk curve if I want to. But I probably won't. I'm probably not going to have that temptation for quite a while, to be honest.
ETH looks much more recoverable than BTC does as far as the bullish.
It just looks like it's having this long consolidation.
Like this is a hot mess, but it's not end of days just yet. Whereas BTC is much more neutral to me. This still looks okay. So I'm not just saying that because I'm in a position. I'm saying that because I'm in a position.
Yeah,
It looks fine. It's got what do you think we can hit by end of year on ETH? Let's be realistic.
6K and 60K. That was our prediction at the beginning of the year, Josh. I'm sticking to it until December 31st.
All right, and that's that.
And
yeah,
if BTC recovers, it's going to 60, and if ETH recovers, it's going to 6. I want to be right.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I think it's fine. We just need Legacy to not collapse. In the meantime,
I tend to agree with Jack. He says 4,700. Like that, the likelihood is we just keep chopping. There's a lot of people that, like me or others, who say, look, I'm just going to take some out, It's the end of the year, doing some planning, want to take some out. And then more people do that in January, and then more people do that in March and April as they get their taxes ready and stuff. And you control about taxes, keyword, drink, bingo, whatever. But it's true.
Take a shot.
Yeah. It's just that there is a pressure on the market from those things. So that's the argument against 6K.
I'm on your side. I'm on the rational investor here.
Now, Josh, however, I think the most money was not made in ETH. I think the most money was made in AVAX, Solana, Axes, like the hyper move stuff. So I think one way to think of it is the money that people take out, they take some out to pay taxes. They hold some for the moon, whatever they consider that to be, that's not now. And then they put some in something like ETH or majors where they feel a little safer. That's the argument for how you can still get 6K even in a tax selling environment. In my mind, you could see capital rotation take the place of the majors selling off.
I don't hate that thesis, but we got to get moving here. The clock's ticking.
I agree. The clock is ticking. It is December 3rd, man. There's 28 days to get it done. And on the 28th day, guess what I'm doing?
Fire sale. Let it all go.
And I would like that to be from higher prices, Josh. So if we could get the old capital rotation game going, y'all, just saying, I'd appreciate you.
Yeah. Another one that looks good still is Matic. I don't know anything about this chain relatively.
It's a side chain. It's an EVM compatible side chain. It's like an alternative to Optimistic or ZK rollups. It's a little less secure, but a lot more compatible.
I just mentioned this because the chart looks kind of nothing like most things right now. I was even looking at VNT the other day, which a lot of people don't like. I get it, but looks less good today. It had this ascending triangle characteristic to it that it might be falling out of now.
Oh,
ZRX has this as well.
Pink Elf in the chat says Matic has 4 to 5 ZK rollup techs on it, so technologies on it. I don't know what that means, but if there's rollups that are involved in Matic, or if Matic's moving to rollups, I'd be interested in that, because I think Matic has network effect potential that's strong. So that's cool. Oh yeah, Atom's strong as well. ATOM. If you want to look up Atom, you're looking up Dino coins. That's the kind of stuff I normally love to do.
That was ZRX. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't look bad. It looks like a W.
It's up on the daily is the important part on a red day. Like when you see strength on a red day, that's usually interesting. Look at that buy volume.
Yeah, this is Coinbase. I don't know what that's about.
JP, shout out JP, told me like 2 days ago to buy Atom, and I was like, man, I'm lazy, and then did nothing.
Should we, I mean, we haven't talked about this in a long time, but how's your Zcash buys doing?
They are still in profit. But
okay. Just checking.
They did a lot of retracing, Josh. So I'm basically back to break even. I think I'm still in profit. It's very close.
I don't take any glee in asking that question, by the way.
Yeah, it looked good yesterday, but when the whole market went down, like Zcash goes down faster. That's just how it works.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. I'm like the long-term charts on Zcash are some of the most appetizing to me still. My children are like all over the place. I'm sorry.
It's okay. This thing is, yeah, that's a tough trade. You like it on against BTC though, right? As far as bottom potential.
Yeah, bottom potential is a good way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for me. It's for somebody, but it ain't for me.
I'll show you my form. There we go. So I think it's got some like W range trade, top of the range type potential, 0.01. That's like a triple from here. So that's what I'm looking at. And I still like that. And when I look at it, when I look at it versus the dollar, I think it broke out. Now there may be some chop and pain in the meantime, but I think it looks good, and I think it's going to go to all-time highs, above 1K.
All right. Well, it's not for me, but I wish you well. Can't say that with a straight face.
Near is another one that's doing well. This is a layer 1 rotation trade. It's another VC bag.
I don't know if I've ever heard of this coin.
It's you go look at the VC websites. It's there.
Yeah, I bet it is.
But it's up. That's all that I know.
I mean, Luna was doing well too. Not something that is in my repertoire.
That one's not going to be in my repertoire either. Oh, I didn't switch back to you. I just had people looking at the weekly Zcash chart with me. So, yeah, there's always a rotation somewhere, y'all. So we have to see if it sustains itself. So
what happened to all that AVAX momentum? See this? When I pull up a chart, when I pull up a chart and I see this, I can't get excited about that. That's all, because that's all I see.
Yep.
I don't even care what it is.
Fine. And that flat Keishan too.
Yeah. This could bounce and be fine for the next 35 years, but I just say nope. Next chart. It's kind of just that simple.
So our summary here is that it's probably majors or nothing season for now.
How weird would it be if we see a late year rotation from alts into majors, like you've been alluding to?
I've been wanting it. I think it's possible. I don't want to be out on the risk curve personally. Like, I'm willing to take the drawdown if I take it because I'm in Bitcoin or Ethereum. Like, I don't like myself very much if I take that drawdown because I'm holding like fat bags of Solana.
Yeah, I think that's another great way to put it. I'll take my chances on the majors, but I know better on the alts.
Well, let's leave it there. I'm very distracted. My dog's barking at my children. My children are out going crazy.
That's okay.
It's a late recording day. We're going to call it a day if y'all are okay with that. Thank you for being here with us. Watch that weekly close. Thanks, Josh.
Watch that weekly close. Watch for weekend excitement and Monday dump-a-rooney in the stonk market.
See you later.
Monuments crumble in the blink of an eye. The easy river has just run dry. In a house of cards